Ladies and gentlemen, that's A-Batch. Give them a big cheer.
Factors that's changed the race, the speed with which this elite group leave this, and there's no question that they're feeling the heat to the marathon races. There were a lot of them on rollers this morning preparing for the hot start, and look at Avancini and Fumi getting out there early and trying to set the pace. We saw it last year, and the marathon men not quite used to this really aggressive start to the stages. It takes them a little bit longer to warm up, and well, Fumic and Avancini were saying they're going to go hard because they need to burn off as many of the contenders as they can.
Yeah, I think a big change that's happened in the last couple of years with the style of racing within the Epic is that the starts have become fast and furious. No longer people are generally just cruising out and kind of warming up. You will see the guys on rollers before the start of the days to make sure once the gun goes they're ready and it's full power.
There's the yellow jerseys, Heineck, at least beg your pardon, Robach and Gismar. Robach is a very versatile racer. He's a cross-country racer, he's ridden cyclocross, and he's very good on the marathon stages and the marathon races as well. So he last week. So this is live images, I am led to believe, and this is Cannondale Factory Racing and Investex Songo Specialized powering through at the front. So this is the break and the front of the race there. It is Avancini on the front, Frimik behind him, and then Grotz and Kulharvi in tow.
Yeah, I don't think any surprise here for us. I think we could see both teams did very well yesterday. They looked very strong and managing to get a gap around on the rest of the field. Missing from this group at this point is our overall leaders after yesterday's stage, and that of course is Centurion Vade.
Well, that last year, beg your pardon, for 4 days before Nino Schurter and Matthias Tournament took it after they had a puncture. And therein lies the big story around these four riders.
Yeah, so these four riders, neither of these teams do have a backup team to help them. So if anything does go wrong at this stage, they might find themselves losing a lot of time. Should it come down to a bunch sprint, of course, Avancini and Fumic would take the lead.
That's a crucial factor. No backup team. Now, Canyon Topik at least have a backup team. Licata and Heineck have Jeremiah Bishop and Eric Kleinans. The Bulls have backup teams to spare. They've got 3 teams here, though unfortunately they're not really.
Do they risk it and try and attack? If I was in Cannondale's position, Cannondale Factory Racing, I think they are in the overall for the yellow jersey, they are ahead, and I think they would want us to stay together and make sure that they keep themselves safe and wear the jersey into tomorrow's stage.
Where is the yellow jersey? Well, the last reports we had around about that fourth water point were that the Centurion Vade team around 4 minutes back, the yellow jerseys of Robach and Gismar, swinging between that chase group, which is Centurion Vade and a few other contenders, was the Trek Celis and Marco Tupev, Casagrande and Rabensteiner.
And the chasers, we can see Sorrow and Victor Koreski.
And that may be I wonder if Buff Scott might be in there. And then the big bunch coming up this climb here, there's Licata and Heineck are in there from Canyon Topik as well.
Yeah, and we can see another Buff Scott rider there. Looking back, we can see Sterneman by the looks of it. Or is that... No, that's actually Scott.
Yeah, it's Frischnick
and Van den Hayden.
And Van den Hayden in there. And the yellow jerseys are in there. Centurion Vade. So the Scots Ram Young Guns there. Do we see the world champion in there? The world champion Nino Schurter, Sterneman's partner. That's in the Dutch champions colours is Michel van der Heijden. They're digging in, going up the climb just ahead of the yellow jerseys.
I think our defending champions are missing from this group unless we are missing them, and I cannot spot them at the moment.
I did see the one Buff Scott. There are 2 Buff Scott riders in there. That's definitely, they're in there. There's no question about them. And it might be that other group in there, the other rider in there is Caetano and his partner. Also finished in the top 10 in the prologue yesterday. And that is Johnny Caetano and Luis Maya from Colombia, Willia Force 7C1.
the pictures, it doesn't do the climb justice and just how steep and how tough it actually is. But you can see in the labouring pedaling style of some of these riders, they actually, this is quite a challenge.
Gisma gets over just ahead of Robach in the yellow jerseys there. Between them is Van der Hayden, and there'll be a bit of a scramble just getting back all together here. But yeah, it's short but it's tough and loose terrain, and that is going to be one of the hallmarks of this year's race because of the drought. Such a loose terrain. There's been no rain to bind it together. It's been a really, really rough last 2 years, in fact, in the Western Cape. So it's going to be hard going for these riders.
Yeah, definitely. I think I also think riders did prepare for that. I think they might have made some changes to their equipment to make sure that they, maybe using tires that are very puncture resistant, and these guys will just try and close up here. I'm sure this will come together, and hopefully they will then work together to try and chase down the guys at the front.
News from the course is that Karl Plattenhuber 5 minutes off the pace, and that the Bulls 2 pair, Simon Stipjan and his partner Tim Burma, had to replace a back wheel, so they've had drama already, which is disappointing. That's Nicola Robach there, the big strong Austrian. On board now. This is brilliant view from Stefan Sam.
And look who's on the front.
Yeah, this is the front group. Avancini, they are giving the Investec song. Look at Kulahavi looking over his shoulder. Where's Howard Grotz? He's there.
Howard Grotz taking a sip of water. These riders need to make sure that with a long stage like this and the hot weather conditions, that they keep their nutrition levels up, and they make sure they are well prepared for the rest of the last bit of the stage.
Live view images there. Fantastic to be on board with Stefan Sam from
open roads, and no big challenges coming up before they would hit the fields of Arabella.
You might have seen the shot there from Stefan Sam on our e-bike. Live view bring those images, and then in front of him was the motorbike, and this is the image from our cameraman Pierre there, bent over double, contorting himself to get this image. There he is in the blue jacket. Fantastic work by our crew out there. Brilliant teamwork, and great to see. It's Avancini and Fumi going very comfortably at the moment, aren't they? And look at this Czech Express on the front. He's the man to fear here. He's got so much power. But you just look at Fumika's cadence there. He's in no trouble at all.
Yeah.
And in Topeka in there, and it could be that it was Cayetano and Amaya, but we'll confirm that. No sign of Scott Schramm, defending champions Schurter and Sterneman.
Yes, Schurter and Sterneman definitely not having a great day out there, very much absent from this group, and I think they will be looking at quite big time losses today.
There's Robert to race here because of their performance at the Pioneer. Now here's our lead group.
And you can see Kulavi on the front here and just powering along.
Yeah,
trying to get the other riders to come through, Avancini to come through to do some of the work. But they know they've got it at this stage.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to the finish here at Arabella, the white, this clay-like surface here. Now, this group, clever, so wily in this sort of scenario. Here's that river crossing you were talking about.
Yeah, here they go over the river crossing now. So from here, I have it as about between 6 and 8 kilometers from here to the finish. After this river crossing, the riders will go through Bon Courage, Wine Estate, and then heading into Arabella. So a little bit of tar here for and a bit of rest for the legs.
Not far from the finish here, the vineyards of the Breda Valley. Sunday afternoon. Now here's the yellow jersey group, keen not to lose too much time, are Robach and Gesmai, trying to drill this group as hard as they can to narrow that gap. They went into the stage with an 18-second lead, 57 seconds down crucially on Investec Songo Specialized, but 18 seconds only ahead of the pair of Fumic and Canal Factory Racing's Enrique Avancini.
Yeah, you can see Gizma there desperately looking back to try and get some help from the other riders. And interestingly here is that not all the riders in this group are actually contributing to the pacemaking there. Victor Seru and Koretsky and Suru, they chose not to work and let Gizmo get in front of them.
Well, this is back with our leading group. Home is close. I can hear the helicopter at the finish line. Anticipation is building ahead of this sprint finish.
The right-hander here, and then just after that we'll see a left coming on to the inside.
And it's out of these corners. You don't want to get it wrong there. They'll come in now into the estate now. It's going to be heads down as they head towards the finish. Past what is the media centre, the winery on their left, and now they are. And the man looking as though he may be left behind there might be Howie Grotz.
I think he just got outbreak in the corner there. Here we go. It's Avancini and Fiumik.
They want the stage win. They'll get the yellow jersey today as well. Kulharvi's going to drive it hard, but it's about the fourth man. There's Howard Grotz. It's going to be Avancini and Fiumik who'll take stage one honours. A brilliant, brilliant ride by this quartet, but the victory on the day goes to the Cannondale Factory Racing pair. There we go. The Cannondale Factory Racing pair delighted.
Super happy.
Yellow
jersey. It was quite
hectic
at the beginning, so we didn't really go off the gun. So everything, the whole field was together. It was quite hectic. Lots of people putting their front wheel in and left and right. And then at one point, we squeezed a little bit with a few guys. And then I think the final decision was when we went in that decent. And then Arvid just let it go. I let it go. And then we had a little gap. And then the Specialized guys joined us, and from there on, the kind of race started. But to be honest, it was quite controlled, and I mean, I feel good. And you?
I feel proper, Jung. I feel proper. It was a nice day, to be honest. We got a gap suddenly. We didn't really expect. It wasn't really an attack. It was just a really rough climb. And then on the top, on the Land Rover technical terrain, we just let it roll, and at the bottom we had like a small gap, and we just started to organize, with Yaro mainly, and from there on it was just me and Yaro working on. Howie was looking good, but he was saving a little bit. And we knew that we could fight for the win at this stage, and it's a proper start for us.
But it's quite early still. It's day one, stage one, but I think we're working quite nicely with the Specialized guys, so we're not killing each other. We're nicely working together because we know this is just the beginning.